thickness plays a crucial role in determining the ease, precision, and overall quality of the cutting process. Whether you're creating intricate jewelry designs or working on a larger-scale metalworking project, understanding the relationship between metal thickness and the cutting method is essential to achieving professional results. In this guide, we'll explore how metal thickness affects cutting, how to choose the right gauge for jewelry designs, and techniques for cutting thicker metals effectively. The basics of metal thickness and gauge. The term metal thickness often goes hand in hand with gauge, which is a standardized measurement system for metal thickness. Contrary to what some might assume, a lower gauge number represents a thicker metal, while a higher gauge number corresponds to a thinner piece. For instance, a 16-gauge sheet is much thicker than a 24-gauge sheet. Understanding these measurements is critical, especially when selecting materials for specific designs. The gauge of metal you choose can directly impact the cutting tools required, the effort involved, and the outcome of the project. How metal thickness affects cutting tool compatibility. Different cutting tools are designed for specific thickness ranges. For thinner metals, basic hand tools like shears or jeweler's saws are often sufficient. However, thicker metals require more robust tools such as bench shears, power saws, or plasma cutters. Attempting to use the wrong tool for a particular thickness can lead to poor cuts, tool damage, or even personal injury. Effort and precision. Cutting through thicker metals demands more force and precision. Hand tools might struggle to maintain clean lines, causing the edges to appear jagged or uneven. Thicker metals also absorb more energy during the cutting process, making it harder to achieve intricate or delicate cuts. Understanding these challenges can help you choose the appropriate cutting method and tools for your project. Heat and material behavior. When using tools like torches or plasma cutters, the heat generated can affect the metal's properties. Thicker metals require more energy and time to heat, which can lead to heat distortion if not managed properly. On the other hand, thinner metals are prone to overheating and warping. Each thickness requires a unique approach to ensure clean cuts without compromising the material's integrity. Choosing the right gauge for jewelry designs. When creating jewelry, the gauge of metal you select depends on the type of design, durability required, and the techniques involved. Here's a breakdown of how to match the gauge to your design needs. Earrings and lightweight pieces. For delicate designs like earrings or lightweight pendants, a thinner gauge such as 22 or 24 is often ideal. These gauges are easy to work with, lightweight for comfortable wear, and suitable for intricate detailing. However, be cautious when cutting these thinner metals, as they can easily bend or warp during the process. Bracelets and sturdier pieces. For items like bracelets or rings that endure more wear and tear, thicker gauges like 18 or 20 are better suited. These gauges offer more durability and structural integrity while still being workable with the right tools. Statement pieces. Large or bold designs often call for even thicker metals, such as 16-gauge sheets. These are sturdy enough to hold their shape but require specialized cutting tools to handle their thickness effectively. When selecting a gauge, always consider the design's purpose and the comfort of the person wearing it. Thicker metals can feel heavier on the skin, while thinner metals may lack the durability for everyday wear. Cutting thicker metals. Tools and techniques. Working with thicker metals requires a combination of the right tools, techniques, and preparation to ensure clean and precise cuts. Here are some methods to tackle thicker gauges effectively. Specialized cutting tools. Bench shears. Ideal for cutting straight lines in thicker metal sheets. Bench shears use leverage to make the process more manageable. These tools are a staple in many jewelry workshops. Power saws. Tools like a jeweler's saw or a band saw with a fine tooth blade are effective for cutting thicker metals. Choose blades designed for metal to prevent overheating or dulling. Rotary tools. Attachments like cutting discs can slice through thicker metals with precision, but they require a steady hand and protective equipment. Plasma cutting and torches. For extremely thick metals, plasma cutters or oxyacetylene torches may be necessary. These tools generate intense heat to melt through metal quickly. While effective, they require skill to prevent excessive heat distortion or uneven cuts. Lubrication and cooling. Cutting thicker metals generates significant friction and heat, which can damage both the tool and the material. Applying cutting oil or lubricant reduces friction, prolongs tool life, and helps maintain smoother cuts. For power tools, consider taking breaks to allow the metal and tool to cool down. Precision techniques: scoring and snapping. For straight cuts, scoring the metal deeply along the cut line and then bending it sharply can separate thicker sheets without excessive force. Multiple passes. For intricate designs, make shallow cuts in multiple passes rather than trying to cut through the entire thickness in one go. This approach minimizes the risk of damaging the metal or the cutting tool. Safety measures: working with thicker metals increases the risks of flying debris, sharp edges, and tool-related injuries. Always wear appropriate safety gear, including gloves, goggles, and hearing protection. Ensure your workspace is well lit and organized to avoid accidents. Tips for success: plan your cuts before starting. Mark your design on the metal using a permanent marker or scribe. Planning the cut ensures accuracy and prevents material waste. Test your tools: always test your cutting tools on a scrap piece of metal of the same thickness. This allows you to adjust blade speed, tool settings, and cutting angles before working on the actual piece. Secure the metal: use clamps or a vise to hold the metal sheet in place during cutting. This provides stability and reduces the risk of the material moving unexpectedly. Finish the edges after cutting. The edges of thicker metals may be rough or sharp. Use a file or sandpaper to smooth the edges, ensuring the piece is safe and comfortable to handle. Advanced considerations for metal thickness and cutting techniques: as you continue to explore the world of metal cutting, it's important to dive deeper into more advanced considerations for handling various metal thicknesses. Mastering these techniques can help you expand your skills and tackle more complex projects with precision and confidence. Handling ultra-thin metals: ultra-thin metals, such as 26 to 30 gauge sheets, are commonly used for delicate jewelry components, embellishments, and decorative overlays. While they are easier to cut, they also pose unique challenges. Tool choice: precision shears or a sharp pair of snips are ideal for cutting ultra-thin metals, as they minimize bending and warping. Stability: use a flat work surface and secure the sheet with tape or light clamps to prevent shifting while cutting. Cutting techniques: for intricate patterns, a fine-tip jeweler's saw with a high TPI, teeth per inch, blade ensures clean cuts. Edge finishing: thin metal edges can be sharp. After cutting, use a fine grit sandpaper or burnishing tool to smooth them. Working with medium gauge metals: medium gauges, 16 to 20, are often the sweet spot for versatility, balancing durability with ease of cutting. These are frequently used for bracelets, pendants, and statement pieces where both strength and detail matter. Cutting tools: bench shears, rotary tools, or even manual saw frames work effectively. Choose blades appropriate for non-ferrous metals when working with jewelry-grade materials like brass, copper, or silver. Precision cutting: for consistent results, consider a metal cutting jig or guide rail when using power tools. This helps maintain straight lines and reduces vibration during the cut. Piercing work: if creating detailed cutouts in medium gauge metals, use a drill to create a pilot hole before inserting the saw blade. Techniques for cutting thick metals, 12 to 14 gauge and beyond. Thicker metals present a different set of challenges due to their density and resistance. Cutting these requires more specialized tools and safety considerations. Heavy-duty tools: thicker gauges often demand tools like plasma cutters, angle grinders, or hydraulic shears. These tools can handle the material's density more effectively than manual methods. Heat management: when using heat-based tools, keep a damp cloth nearby to cool the metal and avoid heat distortion. Incremental cutting: for the cleanest results, avoid forcing a deep cut all at once. Use multiple shallow passes to work through the material gradually. Edge refinement: thicker metal edges often require extensive smoothing with a file or grinding tool to remove burrs and sharp areas. Selecting metal types based on thickness: different metals behave uniquely when cut, so choosing the right metal type based on thickness is equally important. Copper: malleable and suitable for both thin and thick applications. However, it can tarnish quickly and may require sealing after cutting. Brass: Harder than copper, ideal for bold, structured designs. Thicker brass sheets may require power tools due to their density. Sterling silver. Frequently used for fine jewelry, it cuts easily at medium gauges but can be prone to warping when thin. Steel and stainless steel. Known for their strength, these metals often require specialized cutting wheels or plasma cutters for thicker gauges. Aluminum. Lightweight and corrosion resistant, aluminum cuts easily at all thicknesses but can be prone to burrs on thicker sheets. Safety considerations when cutting metals. Metal cutting involves sharp edges, heat, and flying debris, making safety a top priority. Here are essential safety guidelines to follow. Wear protective gear. Always use safety glasses, gloves, and a dust mask when working with metal. Secure your workspace. Use a sturdy, non-slip work surface and ensure the metal is firmly clamped before cutting. Ventilation. When using tools that generate heat or fumes, like plasma cutters, work in a well-ventilated area. Tool maintenance. Keep blades sharp and tools well maintained to reduce the risk of accidents and improve cutting efficiency. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Even experienced metalworkers can encounter challenges when cutting metal. Here are common mistakes and how to avoid them. Using the wrong tool for the thickness. Avoid attempting to cut thick metal with hand shears or thin metal with power tools that can warp it. Match your tools to the gauge for best results. Skipping the test cut. Always test your tool and technique on a scrap piece before cutting your final design. Not accounting for kerf. Kerf is the width of the material removed during the cutting process. Thicker metals have a wider kerf, which can affect precision if not factored into your measurements. Inconsistent pressure. Applying uneven pressure while cutting can lead to jagged or uneven edges. Maintain a steady, consistent pace for the cleanest results. Creative applications of varying metal thickness in jewelry design. Understanding metal thickness opens up new design possibilities in jewelry making. Here are some creative ways to use different gauges. Layering effects. Combine thin and medium gauges to create a multi-dimensional piece. For example, layering a delicate 24-gauge cutout over a solid 18-gauge backplate for contrast. Textured designs. Thicker metals can be hammered or embossed for texture, adding a unique visual element to your work. Mixed metals. Incorporate various metals of different thicknesses for color contrast and dynamic designs. Structural components. Use thicker gauges for structural elements like bracelet cuffs and pendants, while thinner metals work well for detailed accents. Final tips for mastering metal cutting. Start small. Begin with thinner, more manageable metals before progressing to thicker gauges. Invest in quality tools. High-quality cutting tools make a significant difference in ease and precision. Practice regularly. Mastery comes with practice. Experiment with different gauges, tools, and techniques to build your confidence and skill. Document your work. Keep a journal of tools, techniques, and results to refine your process over time. Mastering the art of cutting metals based on their thickness is a fundamental skill for any jewelry maker or metalworker. By understanding the relationship between gauge, tool choice, and technique, you can create stunning designs with clean, professional cuts. Whether working with delicate earrings, bold cuffs, or structural statement pieces, the key lies in selecting the right gauge, preparing your tools, and practicing safe, effective cutting methods. By continually honing your skills and experimenting with different materials, you can unlock endless creative possibilities and take your metalworking projects to the next level. Keep exploring, stay safe, and happy creating.